Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tea.V. This is the very first episode technically
Yeah.
in the roster. We uploaded the pilot,
Pilot episode 0 last week.
and your feedback was very muchly
Yeah, we loved
appreciated.
it.
Yeah, thank you. You guys told us what you didn't like, what you liked. The obvious that our lighting was crap, that our sound is crap, and it's only marginally better to be honest at the moment.
Yeah, so on that note, speaking of crap things, you're wondering why it's just us two. This is not the episode,
Yeah.
thankfully. There's
Why
the
is
other
it just
guys.
you two boys?
This is a little intimate conversation beforehand because we've lost the footage of the intro.
So the first 2 to 3 minutes of the podcast are missing. So we're here to fill you in real quick.
So, you can blame me, my camera, which is the reason why the past video and maybe future videos are so disjointed.
So we've been recording
Turns
this on
itself
a crappy...
off, yeah. And so, long story short, the memory card won't give me the footage, so it's a work in progress. And I'm blaming Canon and Officeworks.
We're coming for you.
Yeah.
TV's
And
after
blaming
you.
me as well, but more so Canon and Officeworks.
Alright, to keep this sweet, you guys are in for actually a tasty treat today.
Yeah,
Today,
it's a cool episode.
We've got... we just watched Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
So in the lead up to that, because that'll be sneak peek next week's episode, this one we're looking at past Marvel films. So we're actually looking at the worst of Marvel. So this week we're looking at what is Marvel's worst. And,
Yeah, I feel like recently the spotlight's been on Marvel, and rightfully so, of how good they are, but there's some definite flawed movies in that cinematic universe, and it's a really fun discussion today talking about all that, so yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy. We jump in, I believe, about a minute into my argument.
Not that
You
long.
haven't missed anything. I believe we kick it off with me being mad at the handling of certain characters. And without further ado, welcome to Tea.V. Hope you guys enjoy.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it was so bad that they actually had to make a short for the film. I remember because I think you showed me. You're like,
Yeah, the one shot.
they fixed
I think it
this.
was on the bonus features for Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
or maybe
It
whatever
wouldn't
the
have been-
subsequent movie
It
was.
wouldn't have been the same movie because they always do like the movie after when
Yeah.
they do a one
Well, we watched
shot.
it on YouTube because they also had the Agent Phil one. But off topic, I remember thinking, I was like, how have you screwed a villain so bad that they've actually...
Just to explain, the short film, because in Iron Man 3, the Mandarin is not the Mandarin we thought it would be.
Yeah.
But then they tried to sort of fix that problem in the short film.
Trevor or
Yeah.
some shit. It was just...
Ben Kingsley could have been such a good
He
Mandarin.
was at the start.
He was. For the first half of the movie, you're like, oh my god.
They
like
teased him as like this big like
terrorist.
terrorist like dude with like the rings and
And
everything.
he was really gonna like F Iron Man's life up.
Oh,
That's what I was
so
so
much.
excited about.
He was just gonna come in and like
Like he knew everything.
yeah.
And then who did it end up being? Like, Guy Pearce. Who was it?
Guy Pearce's
Pearce.
Guy Pearce with like red
Killian
hands.
someone.
Yeah.
Killian, yeah.
I forget his last name, but yeah, no.
No one important.
Syndrome,
It's not important.
syndrome. I'll
Yeah.
call it.
The movie then continued to go along as you do, and then so you've seen like no Iron Man suit really for like the entirety of the film, and then next thing you know, you've seen about 50 in the last 10
Oh, yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
and then it ends up with him removing the arc reactor from his chest, which is so counterintuitive to like the struggle that his character faces, and it was so representative of everything that the MCU has built to me. It was like,
yeah.
we're just gonna rip it out, and he throws it away. He literally throws the MCU away. man.
He could have done I'm fine with them doing that, but it was just like the blowing up the suit thing. I was like, well, that's a bit.
And then it didn't matter the next movie anyway, because he had like, it was like,
Because the
I'm
next
done.
one was Ultron, right?
Yeah, he was like, I'm done, new chapter. I was like, what, so this is it for Iron
Was
Man?
it?
Yeah,
I
straight
think it
into
was.
Ultron, yeah.
Because it was 13 was Iron Man 3, and then 14 was Ultron.
Yeah.
There was probably like another movie in the
Yeah,
like a little.
But the next one you see him
So-
in.
Like I think it was like Winter Soldier and then Ultron in the same year, or something like that. So
Ultron was 15.
I just
okay, well,
remember,
there you go.
I just remember walking out going,
It would have been the next one.
Yeah.
holy crap.
Yeah.
That was,
No, it was a shit movie.
yeah, that hurt. That one was actually, Marvel, that was a punch to the gut. Thank you for that.
Very cool.
Alright.
So I'm going to pass it off to
I think I'll
Jacko.
go next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have the most forgettable of all forgettable
Yeah, like,
movies.
when
Yeah.
you mentioned it, I'm like, oh.
What even happened in
That
that?
happened.
Thor 2: The Dark
I'm still
World.
wondering what happened.
Exactly. I'll do a brief plot recap because I've had to go and Google
Please.
this thing. So Thor is...
Ralph Fiennes or Hugo Weaving or like some...
Ralph Fiennes?
Who plays the bad dude?
No,
Malekith.
it's some weird like actor that old people know. You know what I mean?
someone we know.
You'd sort
He
of
was a
know him
big
if he
actor,
was in
apparently,
something, but they covered him with like a mask and makeup, so it doesn't
there's
matter.
someone.
But the plot
It
is
wasn't Ralph Fiennes.
Thor's like back on Earth or whatever after the first Avengers. There's that shitty fight scene with like the other Asgardians against the Rock people or whatever
right, yeah.
that starts it off. Anyway, it's a classic like what to make a superhero movie when you don't have any ideas. There's a bunch of ugly elves that want to bring darkness to the universe with some like the ether they call it, so just some way to, you know, make it seem a bit more interesting when it's not. And then Malekith, which is like the dark elf king, who no one can remember even saying a word, is trying to just like, bring, because they're dark elves, bring darkness over the whole universe, and good old Thor's got to stop him by, what was that last, like, they had like the portal things?
The Bifrost?
No,
The things.
The portal fucking sticks
The
in the
sticks.
ground. The camping pegs that they used as portals or something, and they're just like jumping through them. I don't know. It was just so boring. The villain, like Wes said, at least in the first bit of Iron Man 3, you had the idea that the villain would be promising. From the start of Thor, you just had this bland, boring,
Red goo.
wants to kill everything just because they're evil, no motivation, doesn't even have any backstory. Villain. It's a very big DC.
It was so
type of
DC. It was the
villain.
most DC thing I've ever seen.
And like, then the whole thing of like the Infinity Stone in that movie was inside of Natalie Portman's character or something. Like, you remember the ether like goes into her or
That's
whatever?
right, yeah,
Like
because
the
she
red
stumbles into
gooey
the
shit.
porthole.
Yeah, do you remember that? Like, there's that scene where she's like lying, and it's like, which just, it's like, it's an Infinity Stone, so don't make it a liquid. But
So, can I preface something for a sec? The reason we're actually bitching so hard this episode, because it's basically what it's become is a bitch fest, which I've accepted, is that these movies are making over $1 billion. They're influencing
Pretty much a
children
fix, yeah.
growing up. If you're going to make this much money for them, make them good. Like, there are so many good ones, so why release them if they're not?
I guess, you know, they're gonna have missteps, but we're here to roast them.
Yeah, you know. Time to take out our frustration. or
Yeah,
something.
so, I don't know, Thor wasn't even, I don't remember one really cool scene with Thor doing anything in particular.
I don't remember the movie.
It is the most forgettable thing,
Yeah,
like,
I
honestly.
remember-
I don't know how to fight this. It's just so like...
Like, Thor, I just remember they got the guy who was the scientist in in Avengers.
Oh yeah, he
like,
was in a
the big-
mental ward
Yeah.
for a bit. Yeah,
They had to
I
go
remember
get. You remember that dude, the guy,
like
the
the
giant.
old Scandinavian
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
like
Is that-
Scars.
No,
guy.
he's the dad of the guy who plays It.
Yeah, I knew that.
And
Really?
the guy,
Oh, Skarsgård, of course.
and the
Does it
guy
connect
plays
in
Tarzan.
any way to the
Nope.
MCU?
The only way
Is the Aether.
is the ether, which is like the Infinity Stone
Yeah.
of that universe.
And it didn't
That's
even really
about it.
show what it could do, because I remember watching...
It was just like a big dark cloud. It was
it
very
made a
Green Lantern.
tornado, didn't it? Like a weird... At the end, it made like a red tornado
fuck
for
I
some
remember.
reason.
Is that the last time we saw Natalie Portman?
Yes.
Is she in Ragnarok?
No.
No,
I haven't
they
seen
name
that.
drop her. They name drop.
Jane.
Yeah, they're like, oh lol, you broke up with her or whatever, and then that's
No, she
about
dumped
it.
you, and he was like,
Yeah,
oh, no,
so-
no, I dumped her.
Yeah, something like that.
Thor Ragnarok,
But-
amazing.
Yeah, they did well with
So
Thor
good.
Ragnarok, but Thor 2 was just so... I came out and it was almost just like I hadn't even watched
a movie.
It was like,
yeah.
what did I just witness? It was just boring. I felt like they really phoned it in. Like, there was just the weakest effort. No character, every character was one-dimensional. There was no real, like, comedic relief which you expect from a Marvel movie. Nothing like that. So, that's my pick. I think that it's just so boring. I get bored talking about
You're just,
it.
I can hear you
because
just like
it's
getting
so-
like more like monotone.
It makes
over
me
here,
like depressed that they took a character like Thor, the god
Yeah,
of
Thor's
thunder,
cool.
an Asgardian, and just made a movie like Loki's good in it because he's always good. Like
Yeah, but
Loki's a pretty
You can't
good
just keep phoning in Loki
dude,
every
but
time
yeah,
you need a
like
villain.
they kind of just brought him in, and then there was that scene Was it Thor stabbed Loki or Loki stabbed Thor? And then like it was like a trick or something. You remember? Like
Yeah, and then
I think no, Loki got killed by someone. He got stabbed, and then they
But he
did
didn't
the
really
old.
die.
Then they did the old like. Yeah, they walked it back by like, oh, he was using his like fucking
Marvel-
mischievous god of mischief, imaginary, what do you call
Powers,
it? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm
Hologram.
forgetting the word. Yeah, like holographic version of himself to trick Thor into thinking he died and then running away and escaping because Loki was locked up.
I'm so glad Marvel finally learned how to kill characters.
Yeah, thank
Like-
you. But I think it's
That's what Infinity
because
War needs to do.
yeah, I think
Murder.
Infinity
Yeah.
War.
Go to town.
Slaughter.
It's
Make
Cap,
me cry. Like
Cap or Tony Stark is going.
both.
Like I don't think they'll do both, but one of them's going at least.
I want Cap to go out.
I
I'm
got my
such a
bets on
fan.
Tony.
Yeah, I got Tony.
I want Cap to have like a really big heroic death because he's
The
just
problem is
such a
we know
lovable
too much.
character.
We know too much now about their contracts that it's like we kind of
Well,
can pick who's
one
going.
will die this one will die in the next one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Avengers. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, no, that's my pick.
Okay, fair.
I wouldn't watch it if you haven't seen it. It's so
No, don't
boring.
rush to that
You
one.
can literally just go on Google, look up plot, and then you'll be fine.
You literally don't need to watch it. That's the
You're not
thing. Like
missing
as long
out
as you
much,
know what the
really.
Infinity
That's
Stone
my
is.
problem with a lot of the Marvel movies.
You can just
They're so
Google.
redundant. Anyway,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. James.
I guess we're on the topic of like really strong superhero characters. Mine is the strongest.
Literally,
yeah.
literally the strongest.
Avenger.
Yeah.
And I guess when you think of Avengers, you think of Mark Ruffalo.
Captain
You
America.
think, that's the Hulk.
But
they try and
You
cover
know-
this one up.
Yeah, very,
What
very
happened
quietly.
here?
Little did you know
This is
that
under
this is
wraps.
actually the third interpretation of the Hulk.
And the second in the same
Second
universe.
in this universe
Yes.
that we're talking.
So
I reckon you could ask most people and they'd be like, wait, it started with Iron Man and then went straight to like,
Yeah.
well, Iron Man 2.
So
Yeah.
the same year that Iron Man came out, 2008, there was a Hulk movie called obviously The Incredible Hulk or Hulk, starring Edward Norton, which
Actually had a good
Who I
lineup.
love.
Yeah, had a good lineup
Edward
of
Norton's
cast. Tim
really
Ross
cool.
you know
The chick
he's,
who's I'm
he's
forgetting.
quite an intense
from Lord of the
actor.
Rings, yeah.
Anyway, it just comes as a surprise that he wants to go down that sort of superhero path.
He's more of like, he picks his movies really specifically. Like if you look at his
He's in
prior
art
roles,
house
yeah.
movies. He's like Wes Anderson's one of
Yeah.
his main dudes.
And he's like, it's American History X? That
Yeah.
That was a really
Fantastic
crazy
movie.
Well,
Seen that one.
I
That's
mean,
hectic.
Yeah.
I went
Sorry.
through a little refresher, a little flick through like sort of the info and about the sort of the film and one reason why or I guess the main reason why he wasn't in the Avengers was
Didn't he
because-
hate it?
Yeah, it was just having issues with Marvel.
Yeah,
like,
he didn't want to be. He was like, I'll do one, and
He's
they were like,
like, oh, what?
"What?"
This is gonna be like a thing now. Oh,
Yeah. No.
You know, I'm not into that. That's not me.
That's
Like,
fair.
One thing I do have to say about this
That's
movie
not
was
me.
the only thing that I didn't actually mind about the film was, I think, Edward Norton, but he played it real serious. He was like, I'm gonna take this role and make it like as hardcore,
they try to make it very
serious, like
When the Hulk's meant to be a bit like of a dope kind of
dopey
guy when
character,
he is
yeah.
the Hulk, like Hulk smash,
I
you
mean,
know, all that
Which
kind
Mark
of.
Ruffalo does perfect.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
Ruffalo plays it really
he plays
well.
that duality of the character so
Yeah,
strong.
and he-
Especially you saw it in
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
his rapport with the other Avengers is really good compared to what Norton's would have been.
Unfortunately, it's been a long time since I've watched the film, so I haven't got as great depth of knowledge for the film as like Jackson or Wes.
I haven't seen it since like probably 2000. And
Oh, I mean,
I
like your
haven't seen
choices.
Incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I do know it didn't perform well in the box office.
Liv Tyler.
I
That's
mean,
what
I
it
just
was.
watched the trailer maybe 20 minutes ago, and it just seems. Someone quoted on it saying like, "Oh, it works. You know, it's not the smartest film or whatever, but it captures him." In other words, it's more like it's there for being there. It's just like a fighter, like a fight 'em up with Abomination,
Abomination.
It's a
Oh,
classic
Marvel.
Marvel. Here's the superhero. Here's the supervillain, which is just him in a different color.
which just put it, make him fight.
Alternate skin.
I
It is
lo-
legit alternate skin on a video game.
I do love how they use the Abomination because that's how I feel like this movie. It's
Yeah.
the Abomination.
It's a metaphor.
Good call.
It's a metaphor.
Giant metaphor.
How the
And
movie.
Edward Norton is beating the movie to the ground.
Yes, like into the ground.
He is not helping.
Huge metaphor. They're very
Yeah.
self-aware, Marvel.
The only
Yeah, it's
the
good at
only
least.
good redeeming quality about that film was it had a cool Stan Lee cameo. That was the one where like the blood dripped
what-
into the drink.
I haven't
Like,
seen it, so...
You
Yeah, I don't even remember
they
that.
like the Hulk like killed Stan Lee.
Jeez.
Like his blood like killed him.
I went to see Stanley.
G'day everyone, James here. Are you sick and tired of just boring, bland content? Well, worry no more, because Tea.V are here to provide you with the best content that's new and original. Order now and you'll get a free video every week.
My turn.
Yes, Jack.
Iron Man 2.
Ooh.
Enough said.
Which we...
Mm.
which-
And that's a good video.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
folks. Thanks for
Yes.
listening. On that
That's
note,
why
yeah.
No. To be honest, haven't seen it for years. Can't really go into plot details, but let's just say a common theme of all of ours is how forgettable it is. But you can also sort of focus on the fact that why it's bad. So Iron Man, the first one, finished really well because he revealed his identity. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
Yeah, which I
was
love.
like, yeah.
That's where we're picking up in Iron Man 2.
Is this the one where like him and Pepper have kind of problems?
Yeah, that's
That was
it.
in 3 as well, I think. And it was in 3 because he was having like PTSD or
It's
whatever.
just a real like.
It's a real mess.
He's just bumbling around.
Really
Monaco,
mumbling
doing his
around.
thing. He's just bumbling around.
Oh yeah, he's race car driving.
He's
And
racing.
He's
Lightning
he's
McQueen.
he's an F1 driver now. Like,
Mickey Rourke's in it with some fancy whips. He looks
I want
cool.
my bird.
Yeah,
I want the mad bird. Yeah.
he's looking
He's got
a
1,800
Yeah.
toothpicks in his mouth at all times.
They're doing cool stuff. Like I like how they're sort of setting up the Avengers. That's pretty cool. You can see Wakanda in the background of the clip.
Yeah,
And Atlantis
I like
as
that.
well.
which
yeah.
is a cool,
Hopefully, give
cool
us Namor.
reference.
Give us
Which is
Namor,
like-
Marvel.
Massive.
I don't even want Namor. I just want a good Aquaman movie.
I want an Aquaman movie so bad
So
to
we'll
be
see what the
mid.
one
James
like-
Wan,
What the
but
one is like this year, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember. Anyway, and then we're getting all these like mindless battle scenes of just Iron Man clones. It's pretty cool how War Machine's in it. I like that.
But again, it's just another Iron Man with a
But
different
it's
a shoulder
seriously
cannon.
just a really redundant, forgettable movie, which is a shame because it comes after Hulk. Because Iron Man, the first one's really cool,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sort of had missteps very early on. They're still trying to find their feet, which is a shame. Like they introduced Scarlett Johansson, which is cool.
That's
like,
true.
There are a lot of cool
Yeah, the Black Widow thing was cool.
setups.
I think it's
they were really
like,
subtle with the Black Widow as well, which is kind
it
of
was
cool.
still necessary to be in the.
Yeah, look, but I still really feel
Did they
like.
give us Nick Fury?
Well,
He was in the first one, but as like an after credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie serves more as not a film, but rather just a setup for the next one, which is a problem I find with a lot of Marvel
Yeah.
movies, where a lot of them feel redundant because they just feel like the only thing that matters is the after credits scene.
They're only there to set up
Well, what
the
was
next
the after
Avengers
credits in that
movie.
It's
one?
filling a gap, really.
Yeah,
They're
it is.
filling gaps. That's my problem with Marvel. Anyway, Iron Man 2. I hate it.
Well, Justin
That's all I'm gonna say. I can argue
Hammer's
that
in
one.
it.
Justin Hammer.
And like that's a cool kind of reference to the Iron Man lore, I guess.
Yeah,
but
right.
then they got
First.
Sam Rockwell, who's a really good actor. I rate him a lot.
Yeah, he definitely deserved that Oscar.
Yeah, but he just like I don't know. It's just very cringeworthy his performance. He's all
It's just a shame
very
coming from the first
American.
time.
Yeah, like it was like, how do you want to build like
Did
just hit the ground
And
running?
then they
make
kill it
it-
again with Where's Iron Man 3.
yeah, did Favreau direct too?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he directed all 3.
No,
No,
first two. Shane
yeah.
Black did the third.
So it doesn't even matter. They've just destroyed it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So let's get into nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Nitty gritty. How do we argue this down? And I think I guess
How do
it,
we argue what is the
Worst
worst?
Because it's
Marvel
really,
movie?
it's just, yeah, okay. You have to pick out the best bits from other movies and then talk about the worst bits from yours. I think is the way we
I
got to
think
do it.
I think the way I could maybe argue for mine is looking at this is the first time I actually was angry.
Yeah.
I was like so fired up after watching this that I was
Furious.
like, I've never been mad after watching a Marvel movie because I normally love them. Like the boys here know I've usually got a bit of a blind eye when it comes to Marvel movies. Like I let them get away with a bit more than they deserve.
Yep.
Jack
I think
hates it especially.
most people
Tend to because they're doing something which no one else has really. Like you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
But holy crap, Iron Man 3 got me fired up. Especially because how much of a cult following it's got. Like people. Yes, Jackie.
Sorry. How about
Yes.
this is how we can argue
Mr.
it.
Gobi.
where you talk about the one major flaw.
Yes, I like it. So this should have definitely been worked out beforehand.
So you need to argue your main flaw for your movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're on the run here. We're doing this as we go.
Yeah, this is all.
And that's going to be the main. Otherwise, we're going to bumble on for everyone.
Can you come back to me?
Yeah, you're not going first.
Yeah.
Main flaw.
Alright, I got this. Alright, so boys, have you ever seen a movie which has fucked the Marvel continuity
Yeah.
as bad as Iron Man 3
No,
has?
I think you're getting my vote anyway.
Yeah.
So like
It's like-
spat in the face
Yeah.
My
of
problem-
Iron Man lovers.
Or just Marvel lovers in general.
Iron Man 3 is just... I just remember my feelings. Because at the start of the movie, I was so excited.
The
You
Mandarin.
just see the Mandarin, and you can see his potential to be so
It
threatening.
looks, he's like, oh shit, don't.
Yeah, you're like, shit's
Yeah.
gonna go down here.
Speaking
And
of
then-
shit, remember he was in the toilet. That's how they
No,
did
no.
it. He came out. He's like, you don't want to go
Dude.
in there.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was
I remember
such
this-
right.
I watched it with you as well. We
no,
must.
you weren't there. It was Jackson.
I think I
Frank,
did
you
watch
were
it with
there.
you.
I watched it
Yeah,
with
because we
Jack
turned
and
to
a
each
mate
other.
of
And we
ours.
were like,
We were just I was in complete disbelief.
He came out and we're like,
No.
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 but
Whose idea was
so
I know.
so one's like
No sense.
killing and beheading people, and then bombing Tony Stark's house, and
Which
one's
was so
just
cool.
yeah,
He was
because he had
gonna
to.
screw Tony up.
He was gonna like
He did
destroy.
screw Tony
He
up.
had to that point, but then he just comes in and he's like,
Oh.
"Oh, I'm a little British man named Trevor."
Yeah.
Don't go in there. I just dropped the dookie.
I'm like,
It's your bloody
I just
country,
remember
mate.
being like,
Alright, boys. Alright, okay. We all hate Iron Man 3. Anyone else want to try and take the throne from Iron Man 3?
Who remembers Thor 2? No one. No one fucking does. And that's the
Just
problem.
walks out.
So my argument is just... I kind of got like a two-part argument, but I'm going to
that's
go
alright. No,
with
it's
one.
cool.
It is the most generic plot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. it
the
makes
Green
sense.
Lantern movie could have had the same plot and no one would have noticed. Big darkness coming to destroy the universe. Hero has to save it.
CGI cloud.
That's
Yeah.
why it is so forgettable. The villain is crap. The love interest is shit. Loki is the only sort of good part, but they kind of just throw him into every Marvel movie because they want a Joker-like character after Heath
And
Ledger's
he's got like a cult
thing.
following.
Yeah, and people, I do like Loki.
You
I think
can't
he's
distract
good,
us
but
with Swell Hemsworth forever.
No.
Marvel.
like I think that Hemsworth was fine in it. The plot was atrocious. It was just boring. Oh, it was just so. It was the most bland,
It's just meh.
cardboard, white piece of
Vanilla.
it was so not what Marvel needed.
This podcast needs like a mad trigger warning across the head.
Yeah, it had come
Steam
after
coming out.
legit. It had come after Avengers, which was really good.
It
Really
did. That was
cool
the
movie.
first film to drop after
So it was
Avengers.
2014. I think it might have been, but they had Winter Soldier in the same.
Oh no,
year.
Iron Man 3 was 2013, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So and then Avengers was 2012,
Yeah.
and Thor was 2014. So year 10.
No, it was 13.
Was it
Because
13?
14 was
It
Guardians
was
and Winter
13.
Soldier.
Yeah. So I don't know how you go. Luckily, they saw their missteps and then went to Winter Soldier and Guardians. But
Yeah.
it's just
14 was
after Avengers, they should have known how to sort of branch off and go. Okay, Phase 2 is coming into effect. We've sort of ironed out the kinks now, and then they just had the biggest bomb of boring ever. It was just I can't go.
get it, man.
Like, I will pay someone if they can actually tell me the full plot of it, mate.
Alright. That's a big argument.
I think you've
I'll get the
made
fire
your case.
extinguisher.
Yeah, if it works.
Yeah.
You've spoken about cliche plots, but I feel like you can't get more cliche than The Incredible Hulk. It's like every child's like.
It was
dream.
the OG cliche.
I feel like it's just like getting two action figures and going.
It is a bit of that.
It's like that.
It is.
They had General Ross in that movie though, didn't
Yeah.
they? Who was like the Red Hulk in the comics?
Yep, he was, and he
Okay,
was
yeah.
also
I think he
in.
He's in Civil War, and he's the guy who hands him the Sokovia Accords.
But you got Hulk. You got. Say this is Abomination. Let's
Just
fight. Hulk smash.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But then.
For Gandalf.
Yeah, I know.
Then, you know it's bad when they nonchalantly just say, Mark Ruffalo's suddenly in. No one speaks about it. They just
Yeah.
go,
No.
hey, yeah. It's
No one
Hulk."
remembers like, hey,
And
Remember
they
that
never-
Abomination
they never
guy?
reference
and they
the-
reference
But-
every other movie
Yeah,
in
but
at
they
least one way.
No, there's only one reference I've ever seen in the MCU to that film, and that would be in Daredevil. If you look in the background of Ben Urich's office, there is a abomination attacks New York.
Yeah.
Was there even a final credit scene in the whole?
Yeah, it was
Stark
Tony
was in it.
Stark. Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I know of that.
he's like he just walks in drunk to General Ross, who's getting
Yeah, he's
drunk,
with Ross.
and they're like, "I can help you with your problem," but they never do anything with that either.
No.
No.
That was just to say, "Yo, we made 2 movies."
Well, yeah. Well, he said, I can help you. I'll give you plastic surgery. You know, Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
All right,
Alright.
Jackie, take it away.
Iron Man 2. Boring. Dumb. Stupid. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
it just,
That's fair.
I don't know the structure of this movie. Like, he's just bumbling around.
Getting hit in his Monaco racetrack with a big whip.
Then he's boxing.
Is he?
We're watching
Yeah.
him doing boxing.
Yeah,
with
and then Black
Jon
Widow's
Favreau.
fighting
he's-
him, and
then he's
then
having like a bit of fun with Agent Coulson on his little like holiday, and then they're in a donut
That was just
store.
what? That's when Nick they're
He's in
sitting in
a
a
donut
donut
store.
because he's dying and he has to heal himself with
And then
the
the
triangle.
threat is more Iron Man, and then I don't know. The fight is with
somehow Rhodey gets in there, and then that's weird because it's Don
Another
Cheadle
Rhodey.
and not the first Rhodey. They had
And
a
then-
lot of casting issues.
And then he
in there.
kills all of the Iron Men by doing that laser thing. Remember when he turns around? He's like,
Yeah, he just does
"Nyeh."
everything
It's just
and
a
chops
boring
them all.
CGI fight, but it was even worse than these ones because it's not even a big villain. It's just all these minions. There's no villain.
No, well the villain's like Whiplash, but he's gone,
Yeah,
and then the other villain is Jocelyn Hammer,
A suit.
and he never gets in a suit.
yeah.
So, that I remember.
So yeah,
No.
that's my argument.
Fair
Who
point.
are we voting for?
Do you want to go just down the line
Sure.
voting? You go first.
Congrats. I hate Iron Man 3
Iron
more
Man
than you.
3, yeah.
I think the one that gets my vote is some good arguments because I don't actually hate these movies all the same. So this one was a fun one where I got to go purely based off arguments.
Yeah.
And you know what, Mr. Allen took that little last bit, like the 2 action.
Very nice.
That was
Yeah, it's a
the
good-
visual cue
Very
helped
good.
my like childlike brain. So
Yeah.
Mr. Allen, well done.
Fair call.
Yeah. Okay, I think just for the way that it got me to the point of so excited and then just completely destroyed that, I'm going Iron Man 3. It's I got to vote Iron Man 3.
I also will go for Iron Man 3.
There you go.
First dub of the year.
Worthy win.
That's a crap
It's gonna
dub
be my
to
movie.
get.
I was gonna pick it.
That's a bad dub to get though. That's
No.
like a how much can you just complain about a movie?
That's alright.
G'day everyone, James here. Are you sick and tired of just boring, bland content? Well, worry no more, because Tea.V are here to provide you with the best content that's new and original. Order now and you'll get a free video every week.
Alright, so good fight, fellas. Fair win. Actually,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
not. It was a brutal, just
No,
gross
that was a fun
fight.
argument.
That was good.
That was very soul cleansing. That got all my stress out.
Please be good, Infinity War.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be
fine.
I'm gonna
either way.
cry probably a lot. But so I was looking through Facebook the other day, and it really made me. I was thinking about how big Netflix has gotten, and all of those like streaming services, and how many hours of procrastination I've spent. So
Yep.
I wanted to know before we get straight into our quick recommendations. I wanted to know some thoughts on this. I saw because I thought this would be interesting for the podcast to discuss. I saw the other day, I know we're all, not like avid fans, but we all quite have seen and enjoy to a degree the Lord of the Rings trilogies. I think we've all
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Amazon has just purchased the rights to 5 seasons or series, I don't know
Yeah.
quite which way they've angled that, of Lord of the Rings, valued at $1 billion.
Yeah.
They've just paid $1
Wow.
billion to
That's
make...
cool. I'm so excited for that.
Do you know
Oh,
how
it's good because that means that the production value will be high and not all CG,
Exactly.
which I'm hoping.
I think Avengers has a production value of about $200 million before marketing.
Well, think about Game of Thrones though. Like they spent a shit ton.
Well, they're still only
on-
spending
That's
about
what they
15
can
million
do.
an episode.
But like, look at how many episodes they've had.
No,
Like,
that's
that'd
what I'm
add
saying.
up
But
a
I'm
fair
saying
amount, but-
the amount they're spending on this is I think it's gonna be unlike anything.
Well, part of
we've
that would be
seen.
for the rights, and part of it would be for
Oh, no,
production
I'm not.
value. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't think we're ever gonna see anything like this.
No.
This is like I'm made by Amazon.
Well, they're
for
definitely
this.
going up against Game of Thrones with this. This is
Yeah.
Well, Game of Thrones ending.
Well, Game of Thrones will end, and then they'll be able to take that spot
Yeah.
because people will be looking
Fancy.
for that.
And
I'm really
yeah.
excited
I'm
for it.
really
Actually,
excited for
I
it.
hope that it's good, and I hope they tell good stories, and
that
it's
lore
not.
is so.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like
Well-
The Hobbit was fine, but it was a bit too CG. You know
Hobbit
what I
was
mean?
terrible.
It
So
just didn't need to be a trilogy.
No, just one movie
Yeah,
or one or
maybe
two.
two.
movies
Well,
would
Will
be
they
fine.
be bringing back, the classic?
I assume they
I
won't.
I don't think so. I don't.
They
think
might
will.
have cameos.
I think they've actually talked about when they're going to set it, and I feel like it's a prequel, but I could be wrong. But I'll have to check that.
I am excited.
They can set it anywhere.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it, because there's so much
There's
depth
so
to that.
much
They
unexplored.
can have smaller stories while the other stuff was happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They could be in the
Could
same.
be like
I'm not sure.
Could be
though.
like a night at Gondor.
Yeah,
Like, how
yeah.
he's feeling at the Mordor
Yeah.
battle, and that it's gonna be cool. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I love Lord of the Rings.
Me too.
Because The Hobbit was before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hobbit
I'll
was
definitely
before.
watch it, as long as it's
Yeah.
not like a paid for thing. Like,
Well,
it probably will
Amazon
be.
here in Australia at least is only like I think it's $7 a
Because
month.
no one would ever illegally download any TV show ever, because that is irresponsible.
No.
So on that note, cool.
Streaming.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
know what you guys were vibing with that,
You-
if we
you
were
keen
excited or not. I'm glad everyone is
Keen,
because I was really excited.
Okay.
Me too.
So that's gonna be a ting.
We're
But
talking about Netflix shows.
Netflix shows, we're here to help you procrastinate. So what are we feeling? What are we not feeling? What do we want to watch and what do we want to recommend?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, hang on.
Hang on.
Yep.
The MotoGP is just
we live
outside.
on a main road, so
Yeah.
apologies. Alright, you guys have to watch this show. And you guys have to, you've seen the first season.
Oh,
Master of None.
yeah, I've seen the first season. Yeah, it's a good
Did
show.
you like the first season?
I really like the first
You're
season.
gonna love the second.
Yeah, I know. I gotta watch it.
It is so good. So it's got Aziz Ansari from Parks and Recreation, comedian.
Tom Haverford.
Yeah. And it's sort of just like apparently like a semi-autobiographical story about him growing up as an actor in New York, like in mid-20s. It just sort of captures it's like, it sounds boring on paper, but it's just a good snapshot of life, and he's really funny. It's subtle humor. It's not over the top.
No. The characters are a bit over the top sometimes,
Yeah,
but it's like
the
it
acting's
fits.
a bit over the
It
top.
suits. It suits it.
Like the first few episodes, you have to get used to him as
Yeah.
an actor, but
If you've seen Parks and Rec, you'll enjoy it. I think.
But it is just beautifully well done, very well executed. The 8 episodes, doesn't ramble on. They go into like topics of like race, love, where you are in the world. It's sort of just coming of age sort of themes.
Mhm.
Yeah, go watch it. Production value is so high as well because it's a Netflix.
And it is relatable, I think, because it shows how you can just cop L's.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
calling L's on a
because
daily
like the
basis.
title suggests, he's a jack of all trades, master of none.
Ooh.
So he is good at
It's
some.
named after a
song.
Beach House song.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Band. Anyway.
Did
You
they
just-
confirm that?
You've just
That it
found
was,
Jack's
or-
guilty
the
pleasure.
same song is in the show.
Okay, there you go.
Anyway, my recommendation. Go
My,
watch it.
my recommendation is I've seen a lot too much. But I didn't want to pick something that everyone's obviously seen. So Stranger Things, everyone's seen. I didn't want to go something as corny as Lucifer, even though I like it. Arrested Development, everyone's seen. So thought I'd pick something a bit more serious than maybe what you guys were going for. Some drama. So Mindhunter.
Yep, I still need to
Mhm.
see that.
Excellent.
I've heard good things.
It's a burn, so it's a slow burn. It's something you got to dedicate to.
Is David Fincher?
Yes, I don't know if he did all of it, but he definitely produced, I think, all
He's
of it
got
and
his hand
directed.
in it.
Yeah, he's heavy-handed. It's definitely him. Acting's phenomenal. It's set in like the 1960s, I believe. It's following it's them following how they classify a serial killer. Because before that, they didn't understand why a serial killer does what it does. It's dark. It's gritty.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Kind of messed up.
That's cool.
What would you compare it to?
Yeah.
I would say it's a hard one
Has
to
it got
compare
like a Zodiac vibe?
Yeah, it's like
That's how I see it. I
Zodiac.
haven't seen the
Oh.
show, but
it's a hard one.
Sort
It's
of
like
Seven or Prisoners, something like that.
yeah,
It's sort of its own thing.
it actually does fill its own gap. It's one of those ones where it kind of really makes you think. It's not really about anything, but at the same time you're like, I need to watch the next episode. It's hard to describe, but
I'm into that.
I think
Yeah.
I watched all of it in 2 days.
Cool.
It's
Alright, that's my recommendation. Okay.
Let's go.
Mine is
In-Betweeners?
no, I'm probably gonna get made fun of for this, but Last Chance You. So
yeah.
it's a sport
I was gonna say
TV
that
show.
when you go.
So it's a sport TV
Oh,
show
yeah,
based
yeah.
on this one
Good choice.
junior college in Mississippi, and all these, like, I love American sports, but all these gridiron players who have, like, they've screwed up. They've either been caught with drugs, they've abused someone, or like they've been caught, breaking the law essentially, and have been kicked out of their Division 1 college. Those guys will go to the NFL program, and now they have to come here to sort of get back to their game and then be able to go back into the place where they can, make a career out of football. So it's really interesting, excuse me, because they tell really good human stories. It's not all about the sport. It's really like they'll go into
About the process.
each season. They focus on about five
It's a
or
documentary.
yeah, it's a documentary, so it's a real thing. It's
Yeah, that's what
not
I'm
made
gonna
up.
say,
Yeah,
that.
it's a real.
Just in case, yeah.
How many seasons
The
have they got so far?
Netflix, they've got 2 seasons out, and each season obviously they have like a bit of a different team, few returning players, but they focus on about 5 players each season who are like problem guys and are having trouble with their education, and then like they're fed up with everything. The coach is an absolute madman. The coach is insane, and he screams at the players, and like he's a nice dude, but he's just like, yeah, you got to watch it to understand. But I love it. The characters are great.
Yeah,
Good
I was going to
recommendation.
say, I only watched about maybe 2 or 3 episodes with Jackson once.
Yeah.
I don't like sports at all. Really enjoyable. Like, as
Mhm.
someone completely out of that
Mhm.
world, loved it. So you
Because
guys gotta watch
it focuses
Yeah.
on like the real
Yeah.
people, and like there's no beating around the bush in the terms of they're not trying to pretend that the cameras aren't there. Like
Yeah.
there's
It's real.
what do they call it, talking heads interviews, where
Yeah.
they'll cut out and like put in a quote, or like the coach will be in halftime and be really angry and literally shove the cameraman out of the
Yeah.
way. So alright.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
Alright, so, unlike you, I have not watched the show, but it looks good and I'm going to recommend
Yeah.
it.
To yourself.
To myself and to you,
Yeah.
it's called The Get Down. To those who don't know, it looks like a hip-hop kind of show
Looks-
set in the
It
80s
looks
and
like-
90s. Looks like there's breakdancing going on. Jaden Smith is in it.
Your faith.
Icon.
Icon.
Yeah,
He's just an icon living.
Icon living in the past. Alright,
Made by
keep going,
Baz
James.
Luhrmann.
Let's,
Ooh.
it's on TV, obviously, Netflix.
It's alright, I've
there's a-
seen some, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay, but watch it anyway. You know,
let's all watch it.
you know what? Call me. I'll give you my number and we can watch it together.
Alright, well done,
James will put his number
So
in
thank
the
you for
comments.
watching us get increasingly sweaty. It's really hot in this
So
room.
hot in here.
It's nearly winter for us, and it's still like sweat
Queensland
fest.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this has been a really fun episode
Yeah.
talking about Marvel. I think it's been very heated.
There are some awkward cuts in it, so sorry.
They're used to that by now.
But roll with it. You know, you love us.
That's
Yes,
part
some
of it.
haters.
That's part of it.
Sweet.
Alright,
Alright, I'm
Jackson,
gonna wrap it up.
Wrap it up like you love
Put pineapple on pizza, you peasants.
to. Amen.
Bye.
Good night.